श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। ओम सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। ओम आप्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक्प्राणश्चक्षुः श्रोत्रमथो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्मोपनिषदं माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्यां मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत्। अनिराकरणमस्त्वनिराकरणं मे अस्तु तदात्मनि निरतेय उपनिषत्सु धर्माः ते मयि सन्तु। ओम शांति शांति शांति। Now Angi Upasana. So we saw in the 6th section there are 2 upasanas are given. 1 upasana, Mukhya upasana, and 5 upa upasanas, Anga upasanas. In the Anga upasanas we took 5 pairs of devatas, and each pair of devata was invoked in 2 different sets of alambanam. One alambanam is Ruk and Sama, other is Sa and Ama. Now having invoked this, then we come to Mukhya Upasana. Mukhya Upasana is said from the 6th mantra, from the half portion of 6th mantra onwards. That is 5.5 spoke about the 5 upasanas, Anga upasanas, and now the 6th mantra we will chant in the middle, Atha. Atha yayeshontara aditye hiranmayah. Got it or not? Atha yayeshontara aditye hiranmaya purusho drushyate hiranyasmashruhu hiranyakeshaha apranakat sarvayeva suvarnaha tasya yatha kapyasam. 6th section. Section, 6th mantra. In the middle. आपको देखना भी नहीं आता तो मैं क्या करूं? That is over. That is 5th one. 6th mantra, 6th section. So be alert. You select the sloka and come. तो कम से कम हुक्म. अथ य एषोऽन्तर आदित्ये हिरण्मयः पुरुषो दृश्यते हिरण्यश्मश्रुः हिरण्यकेशः आपृणकात् सर्व एव सुवर्णः तस्य यथा कप्यासं पुण्डरीकमेवम् अक्षिणी तस्य उतेति नाम स एषः सर्वेभ्यः पाप्मभ्यः उत इति उतेति ह वै सर्वेभ्यः पाप्मभ्यो य एवं वेद तस्य ऋक् च साम च गेष्णौ तस्मात् उद्गीतः तस्मात् तु एव उद्गाता एतस्य हि गाता स एष ये च अमुष्मात् पराञ्च लोकाः तेषां च इष्टे देवकामानां च इति अतिदैवतम् इति षष्ठखण्डः. Now this is the Parameshwara Upasanam, Mukhya Upasanam, given in the 6th section of the first chapter of Chandogya. This upasana is called Vishesha Guna Sampanna Parameshwara Upasanam. Vishesha Guna Sampanna. Ishvara is endowed with some Vishesha Guna Sampanna, special attributes. Those attributes are not seen in any other devata. So those attributes are to be meditated upon on Parameshwara. And this portion is very famous in Shastras. Adi Shankaracharya ji has quoted this quite often, this Aditya Purushaha Akshini Dakshinakshini. This portion is very well quoted in Brahma Sutras. Lot of analysis also has come in this, about this. Wherever you go, this is quoted. So, in this Upasana, we will discuss now what is Upasana of Ishvara Upasana. Now, Ishvara also has, you say, Nirguna Brahma, Saguna Brahma. But Nirguna, we cannot do any Upasana. Because Nirguna Paramatma is not available for Upasana. You cannot contemplate on Nirguna because it is not an object of meditation. It can never be. There is no Guna, no Rupa. You can't meditate on that. So, Upasana is done only on Saguna Brahma. First point. Before we go into more details of this Guna Vishishta, Ishvara Guna Vishishta Sampanna, this Upasana, we have to do some kind of a study, homework. Now, Upasana is only done on Saguna Upasana. Saguna Upasana can be done on anybody. But we will divide this into, Saguna division also is again two. One is Devata Upasana, other is Ishvara Upasana. In Saguna only. Somebody meditates, worships Devata, Saguna Upasana only. And worship, meditation on Ishvara, it is also Saguna Upasana. Now, what is the difference between these two? Devata Upasana and Mahatmas only analyzed all this. So, I am sharing that knowledge. So, the difference between Shastras mentions again and again mention Devata and Ishvara is Upasana is Devata Upasana, Ishvara Upasana, both are Saguna Upasana, but the difference between these two Upasana is nothing but the difference that exists between Devata and Ishvara. That is only difference. Because he is Devata, Devata Upasana is different. Because somebody is Ishvara, Ishvara Upasana is different. Now, who is Devata now? Devatas are nothing but exalted beings. That's it. Jivas only. Jivatva is still in them. They are not melted in Paramatma. But they are so exalted that they seem to be almost like gods to us. So they are got Devatas. Highly evolved. But Jiva. Exalted beings. So they attain that exalted states through their upasana, karma, etc. So the first point is between Devata and Parameshwara difference you see, the difference only forms a difference in upasana. The qualities, Guna Vishishta, Vishesha Guna Sampanna, Parameshwara Upasana is different because Parameshwara is endowed with special qualities which are not there in anybody. But that is also Saguna Upasana only. But Saguna Upasana can be done on Devatas also. So Devatas have attained that state only through Upasana and Karma. They are also only beings, exalted beings. There is no difference in that. Between us and Devata, they are highly exalted. That's it. So the first point. Okay. So karma, kuch karma visheshat. Some special thing they have done. They attained that state. Second point is difference between Devata and Ishvara, Upasanas, or Ishvara and Devata difference. Devatas are samsaris. Samsari means they have their own, and family also they have, but they have jealousies, hatred, comparison, quarrels between Indra and Agni, and jealousies, hatred. We see all those things even in Devatas also. So they are not liberated. They have yet to gain spiritual knowledge. But for us, they are very high, capable of giving so many blessings, capable of bestowing wealth, anything they can do for you, because it is to bless a human being, for them it's a nothing. But still they are only exalted beings. So they are also samsaris. That's why Indra and Virochana, both of them went to Brahaspati for Atma Jnanam. We come across this. In Chandogya only it will come. Both go to seek Brahma Vidya. So they are all Ishvara but has no samsara. He is not bound. Third point is Devatas have a fixed form. Rupam. Devatas also. The moment you invoke Devata, they have a fixed form. What are they? For example, Indra you take. Indra is his own form. Indra vehicles. All official vehicle, Indra. And his form is different. Agni, Varuna, Vayu. Everybody has their own forms. They are different. Fixed forms. They cannot change their forms. They have limited hands, limited powers, fixed forms. They cannot, they may change here and there, but they have fixed forms. Okay? But whereas Ishvara is not like that. Ishvara can take any form as he wants. Right? Fourth point is Devatas, they have different layers of their knowledge. So many layers of knowledge is there. Among themselves, there are different layers of knowledge, different layers of Kriya Shakti. Different layers are there. So when you see them, each one is differently capable, able. Somebody has some power, somebody has some power. Their karma is different. Okay. So in Devatas, more purity is seen in them, but not absolutely pure state of consciousness, no. But not total purity. So this is the fourth point between Devatas and Ishvara is totally pure. Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Swabhava. The difference. Now what we are discussing in this sixth section is not Devata Upasana. We are discussing about Ishvara Upasana. Parameshwara Guna Visishta Sampanna. That now. This Parameshwara is not like Devatas. He is not Alpa Shaktiman but Sarva Shaktiman. He is not Alpa Vyapi but Sarva Vyapi. He is not Alpajna like Devatas but Sarvajnaha. So this Parameshwara or Ishvara, whatever you call, is not like Devatas. Okay. What is the form of Shuddha Brahma? Shuddha Brahma means Agandham, Arupam, Alaksh, all those things will come. Now, you take Maya. Maya also has no form. Ishvara you take, Ishvara also has no form. Then what is the form of Ishvara? Ishvara is Maya Visishta Upadhi Chaitanyam. So whatever the forms of Maya, actually Maya is Avyakta. Other than specific form for Ishvara, it is not there. Okay. This Parameshwara is formless, Nirguna Brahma. He is to be meditated upon. Now, how can you meditate on formless now? You said that Parameshwara has no form. How can you meditate on Ishvara who is no form? So, Maya also is Apratchaksham, invisible, no form, but can appear in any form. Maya creates an illusion. Ishvara also has no form. But whereas Devatas are also available for Upasana, but not Parameshwara. Parameshwara is above all these things. So how to do Upasana now? So scriptures prescribe two methods for this. To do Upasana on Parameshwara who is Nirguna, Nirakara, Nirvikara Parameshwara, two methods are prescribed. To do Upasana of Parameshwara, who has by himself no form. Yet we can meditate. So, before we go into that 6 gunas, some gunas will be Guna Visishta Sampanna Parameshwara. Before we talk about his gunas on which we should meditate, we are talking about scriptural understanding about Devatas, about Parameshwara. What kind of Upasana we can do on Parameshwara who is formless. So, scripture gives two methods. One method, in Adi Shankaracharya ji mentions in the Brahma Sutras, one method is, you yourself attribute a form to Parameshwara and worship. He has no form. You give any form to him. That is your choice. But preferably, Shastra prescribed form is better. Known symbols. So, otherwise you can have your own form. No restriction here. But Shastra prescribed forms are better. Otherwise, you yourself attribute a form to formless Parameshwara. You can imagine him in a particular color, particular dress, particular complexion, particular size, particular height, particular form, with particular shades of personality, with smile, without smile, whatever way. with Abhayahasta, without Abhayahasta, Jnana Mudra or Dhyana Mudra. Your choice. You attribute a form to Ishvara and do Upasana. And we say we attribute Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma to Mahavishnu. We attribute a form. So, remember, Devatas also have a form, but that form is fixed form. They got it out of their karma. Our human body is there. Our form is there. We have got this form out of our karma only. Therefore, we got this. So, our fixed form. We cannot change colors. We cannot change our forms as will, at will. So, Devatas, they all got this form, but Parameshwara, we attribute a form. So, this is the first type of Upasana on Parameshwara, because Parameshwara is not restricted in any form. He can take any form. So, we can take any form. So, we attribute a form to Parameshwara and do Upasana. It is only an imagination of Upasaka. For the sake of meditation, Upasaka imagines a form. But that is allowed. Acharya Shankara says, no problem. And that form will talk to him, will bless him with all his powers, will take care of him. So Upasaka contemplated on Ishvara in the particular form and he meditates on it. Choice is yours. But Shastra prescribed form is better. Like Shivalinga, Saligrama. They have its own mysterious concepts are there. Not concepts, facts are there. So, if Upasaka attributes a particular form to Parameshwara, Parameshwara appears in that form only and guides him. Ishvara only. That's why in whichever form you have more faith in among so many gurus, Ishvara will bless you in that form only. Ishvara only appears. Ishvara only talks in that form. So Acharya Shankara says, Parameshwaraha Mayaya Pratidati, somewhere else he says. Not here. Mayaya Pratidati. Through his own Maya, he appears for the sake of disciple. Okay? When Parameshwara appears in a particular form, only for a particular Upasaka, it is not called Janma, but it is called Avatar. So I can imagine Parameshwara in any form. Nobody can stop me. I can invoke Ishvara in that. Do meditation. And Parameshwara appears to me in that form and it talks to me, takes care of me. This is one type of Upasana. Okay? Okay. This is called Visishta Guna Sampanna Parameshwara Upasana. One kind of Upasana. Right. Now, second type of possibility also is there. What is the second type of possibility? This is called Pratik Upasana. You don't give any form to Ishvara, but you meditate on formless Parameshwara totally in different way. So, we don't attribute a special form, we don't give any form to God, but what we do, we invoke the Parameshwara in a symbol. Like Saligrama, you take, directly attribute Shivalinga or in Omkara. In Omkara, invoke Parameshwara and meditate on Omkara. So it becomes Pratik Upasana. So in this way, this is the second method. One is a particular form, second is Pratik Upasana. Now, another thing is, here in this Upanishad, when you meditate, when you want to meditate on Parameshwara, do Upasana, Sthanam is necessary, place. Where do you meditate on Parameshwara? Here, some places, heart is a place where you can imagine your Ishta Devata. In some Shastras, Yoga Shastras, they mention Agnya Chakra. But here in Chandogya Upanishad, Parameshwara is invoked where? In right eye. See? That will come up later on. Okay, one kalpana you can do. You can imagine Parameshwara only in a particular temple and go there and worship. Or particular murti that you carry maybe with you always. Invoke Parameshwara in that and worship. Okay. So third point of Ishvara Upasana is Sthanam. And Sthanam is what? Surya Mandalam. Is going to take Surya Mandalam. In the next section we see Surya Mandala Upasana also will come. Therefore, Parameshwara is going to be invoked in the place of our own eye. Dakshina Akshi. That is a Upasana will be told. Therefore, this section is called Adidaiva Upasanam. So, Parameshwara is invoked in the right eye. So, different sthanams are mentioned in the Chandogya Upanishad. Somewhere we saw somebody meditating on the orb of the sun, white portion of the sun, dark portion of the sun, whole sun, or the rays of the sun. Think. Like that, so many meditations will be given in future also. Now, here, what we should do? Sthanam is Surya Mandalam, disk of the sun. So, what are the gunas attributed to Parameshwara here? We find 6 gunas in this section. 6 gunas we find. Okay. So, where are we? Antara Aditya Hiranmaya Purushaha. We are imagining in the Aditya, in the Surya Narayana, sun's orb, somebody called Hiranmaya Purushaha. Very wonderful imagination. Right. Sun whose rays are coming down is Hiranmaya, everything is gold color. Therefore it is said he has gold beard, golden hair, golden nails, gold colored nails. Everything is gold color, shining being. How is it imagined now? Will be told already. Will be told that Surya Narayana is there. The rays which are downward, there is like a beard. Orb of the sun is a face. And the rays that are going up into the space above the sun is his hair. And this Purushaha is Hiranmaya Purushaha. This is how we imagine in the sun orb, Hiranmaya Purusha, golden person, we imagine and we worship. So that will be told. So, what are the now 6 gunas are mentioned in this 6th section only, where Tasya Ruku, Tasamacha, Geshno, Tasma, Udgitasmatu, Ye Udgata, Yeda Sahigata. Then Akshini, Udeti Nama, Sayesha Sarvebhya Papabhya Udeti, Udeti Ye Sarve Udeti Ha Vai Sarvebhya Papabhyo Ya Evam Veda. Now, these points we will see now one by one. Okay? This is a Upasana. First Gunam, we can say first was Hiranmayaha. The Ishvara is called here in this Hiranmaya Purushaha. Full of gold color. Everything is gold. His hair is golden. Smashruhu. Smashruhu means facial hair. Mustache, beard. This is called Smashruhu. So what is that? That also is golden color. Hair is golden color. Apranakhat Suvarnaha. See? The whole body is in golden color. Nails golden color. hair, mustache, beard, golden color. Shining being is shining being. He is full of golden color. Hiranmayaha. So, Adityova, Esha Mandalam Tapati, Etasmin Mandales, Stirdipyate is a popular mantra. So, after this in the mantra, Adhyatma Upasana was mentioned. So, this is the first guna. Hiranya Maya Purushaha is the first guna of Ishvara. Now, second guna in the mantra, it is told, you can see that, Tasya Yatha Kapyasam. Kapyasam, second guna. Kapyasam means what? Interesting. Kapyasam Pundarikamiva Akshi. His eyes are bright like the red lotus. Eyes are how? Bright like the red lotus. Interesting, no? Now see, very carefully. 1 minute. Like red lotus, his eyes are. First gunam is everything Hiranmayam. Now eyes are told. Red lotus. Kapi means monkey. Interesting comparison. Lot of discussion comes. Some people criticize also this mantra. How can Shankaracharya give meaning of Kapyasam like that? Kapi means monkey. Asaha means buttock, back portion of the monkey. And back portion of monkey is red in color. You must have seen monkeys, fully red. Kapyasam means the back portion, buttocks of the monkey, lesser red in color. His eyes are compared with the color of the buttocks of the monkey. The color of the eyes is compared with the buttocks of the monkey. Color of the buttocks of the monkey. Now somebody got angry, somebody gets angry. How can you do all that? Compare Hiranmaya Purushaha with the monkeys. But Shankaracharya says, Acharya there, no, there is no fault in this because we are comparing the color of the eyes. Eyes bred like red lotus. Eyes are like red lotus. But the color of the redness is compared with the back portion of the buttocks of the monkey. So, इसमें कोई दोष नहीं है. Kapyasam. So, for the lotus, adjective is Kapyasam word is used. Right? Reddish color of the back of the monkey. So now, there is no problem. This is called, how can description of the Lord be compared with like Hinopama in Sanskrit? A very hina comparison, very cheap comparison it is. That should not be done. All that. But therefore they say Kapyasa means blossomed by the sun. Ramanujacharya etc. they give meaning. Kapihi means sun. Asaha means blossomed. So they give another meaning. But Acharya Shankara gave this meaning only. Okay. So a lotus which is blossomed by the sun. So they don't take monkey here. Meaning. But Acharya Shankara gave Kapi means monkey only. Not the problem. Justified explanation. Thinking Acharya Shankara justified his explanation saying that don't worry in this. It is Pundarikam Akshita. Eyes are compared with the Kapyasam, not the golden Hiranmaya Purushaha. It is not comparison with the Lord. Okay. Third one is Ut Nama. Parameshwara. Nama. Ut Nama. Name of the Lord is Ut. Ut Eti. Not Udeti. Ut Eti. Ut plus Eti, Udeti. So third one is Ut Nama. What is Ut Nama? Name of the Lord is Ut. Third guna. Ut means what? Transcending. Ut means Uttishtati. Seated above. Ut means what? Transcending all sins or papams. Everything is transcended. Sarva Papa Atitaha. He is beyond all sins, above all sins. Therefore, Ishvara's name is called Ut. Next one is fourth guna is mentioned in this last portion is ruksama geshnatvam. Another guna is geshnatvam means what? Knot. K-N-O-T. Knot. In a bamboo, we find knots or not? Joints. Like finger joints. That knot is called geshnaha. Finger joints. Or the gap between the two knots is called geshna. And the final meaning, other meaning is geshna means a part, a portion. Ruk and Sama are the parts of Parameshwara. Ruk Sama Geshna. So having Rigveda and Samaveda as the parts of Parameshwara. So we have to go to Anga Upasana to understand this. In the Anga Upasana we invoke Ruk and Sama on 10 Devatas, Prithvi, Agni, etc. Antariksham. We invoke Ruk and Sama only. So when the Ruk and Sama as the parts of Parameshwara, when all Devatas, these 5 pairs of Devatas are invoked, Anga Upasanayam, in the Anga Upasana, and remember this. And similarly, the final meaning of Ruk and Sama Geshnatva means Sarvatmatvam Vishwarupatvam Sabhumim Vishwato Vrutva Pado Sa Vishwabhutani. Meaning what? He is Sarvatmatvam. He is the joint means Sarva. Ruk and Sama, he pervaded everywhere, and he is Sarvatmakatvam. He is everywhere. That is the meaning of the joint between Ruk and Sama. Fifth guna is Udgitatvam. Parameshwara himself is called Udgitaha. Udgita means what? Omkara occurring in Samveda. So Udgita means highly sung. So Parameshwara also is sung. Highly sung. By whom? People. Rishis. Glorified. Therefore, Udgitaha is another guna of Parameshwara. Which one? Fifth guna. And the sixth guna is last guna, Urdhaloka Kama Ishitvam. He is the Lord of the upper worlds, and those pleasures of the upper world are all belonging to Ishvara. Ishvara, it is Ishvara's property. Isha means the Lord. So he is the Lord of the world and Lord of all the pleasures of the upper world. Okay. Everywhere. Thus, this is enough now for description. Not much, we need not go into more details. So, with this kind of 6 gunas, we have completed 6th section of the first chapter. Some more details are given in Bhashya. All those things are not required. So, we have to study 7th section of the first chapter. Okay. This we have to study in the next class. Hari Om. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Mashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Sadgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai.